When 50 sues for $5 million and Ross responds with a diss track, this beef just leveled up from the courtroom to the booth. On September 2nd, 2025, 50 Cent filed a federal lawsuit in New York against Rick Ross, claiming Ross illegally used a sample of Indie Club in a remix tied to Maybach Music Group promotions and even a 2017 concert. For 50, this wasn't just about a song, it was about respect, brand control, and protecting the crown jewel of his catalog. He's demanding $5 million in damages, plus an injunction to make sure Ross never touches that track again. Think about it. Indie Club isn't just a record, it's 50's identity. That song turned him from street legend into global superstar back in 2003. So when Ross recycled it without permission, 50 treated it like a home invasion. In his eyes, Ross wasn't paying homage. He was trespassing. Fans online joked that 50 out here suing mixtapes like parking tickets. But underneath the humor, this lawsuit signals how serious 50 is about guarding his legacy. And the wild part? This legal battle doesn't just drag up contracts and copyrights, it rips open an old wound that's been festering since the late 2000s. Because if you remember, 50 and Ross have history deeper than just remixes. Their beef once dominated hip-hop headlines with diss tracks, baby mama scandals, and endless memes. This lawsuit feels like deja vu, a sequel no one expected, but everyone is watching. So the question is, will 50's courtroom flex shut Ross down? Or will Rose use this as fuel to reignite one of rap's nastiest rivalries? Spoiler alert, Ross already decided to fire back in the loudest way possible, and he didn't need lawyers. He needed bars. Before we get into the juicy details and drama, only 20% of the people watching are subscribed right now. Let's flip that. Hit the subscribe button, smash the notification bell. Here's the thing, 50 didn't pick this lawsuit out of thin air. He went nuclear over Indie Club because that track isn't just another record, it's his life's anthem. When it dropped in 2003, it wasn't just topping charts, it was the song. Every birthday party, every club, every high school dance had "Go Shawty, It's Your Birthday," blasting like it was the national anthem. And to this day, you can't throw on that beat without instantly being transported back to the golden era of 2000s hip-hop. So why does 50 care so much about protecting it? Because Indie Club is more than music. It's his brand, his origin story, the one track that cemented him as untouchable. That record turned him from street mixtape king into a cultural icon, and he's built entire business empires off that credibility. Energy drinks, movies, TV shows, every hustle he's made ties back to the man who made Indie Club. You think he's gonna let Ross flip that legacy into a marketing tool for Maybach Music? Not a chance. And let's be real, 50's always been about control. From G-Unit clothing lines to Power on Stars, he runs his empire like a general. Seeing Ross use his masterpiece without asking is like somebody sneaking into your garage and driving off in your prized Lamborghini. You don't just shrug that off, you call a lawyer, or in 50's case, you become the lawyer with muscles. But here's the kicker, this lawsuit isn't just about one remix, it's about drawing a line in the sand. 50's telling Ross and every other rapper that you can clown him, diss him, even troll him online, but when it comes to Indie Club, that's sacred ground. And this is exactly why the lawsuit hit so hard. Because Ross didn't just sample any record, he sampled the record, and that makes this beef way bigger than paperwork. But if you think 50's lawsuit was the end of it, you don't know Rick Ross. Because Rose didn't just hire lawyers, he picked up the mic, and what came next was fire hot enough to melt the courthouse doors. If there's one thing Rick Ross knows, it's how to turn legal drama into lyrical ammo. Just 4 days after 50 filed that $5 million lawsuit, Rose hopped on X like it was 2010 all over again and dropped a diss snippet that instantly lit the timeline on fire. Over a moody, bass-heavy beat, he went straight for the jugular, mocking 50's past financial struggles with the line, "Curtis, you ain't got no paper. Chasing my shine, G-Unit's a ghost. I'm sipping fine wine." Bruh. That's not a subliminal, that's a heat-seeking missile. Fans reacted instantly. Within hours, the post racked up over 1,000 likes and had G-Unit loyalists foaming at the mouth, while MMG fans were calling it vintage Ross. The split was hilarious. half of X was posting GIFs of 50's courtroom scowl, the other half was pouring bottles of Bel Air in celebration like Ross had just won the Super Bowl. Somebody even tweeted, 50 brought lawyers, Ross brought lyrics, choose your fighter. That's how quick this clip turned into culture currency. What's wild is how Rose framed the whole thing. Instead of ducking and hiding behind legal talk, he doubled down by making the lawsuit part of the storyline. He basically told fans, yeah, he's suing me, but while he's in court, I'm still dropping bars. It was petty, it was savage, and it reminded everybody of why their feud back in the late 2000s was legendary. Ross knows the fans love drama, and dropping a diss instead of a statement was the perfect way to reignite that fire. But here's the kicker. This wasn't just trolling for clout. This move strategically tied into Ross's rollout for his next MMG album. He turned 50's lawsuit into free promo, flipping negativity into anticipation. And let's not forget, Rose's never been afraid of taking shots at 50, even when it risked his own career back in the day. So if you think this snippet is all he's got, think again, because this lawsuit just reopened the vault on one of the ugliest, pettiest, and most entertaining beefs in hip-hop history. And that brings us right back to the question, how did we even get here in the first place? To really understand why this feud feels like it's picking up right where it left off, we gotta rewind to the late 2000s, the original battlefield where 50 versus. Ross became the stuff of legend. To really get why this lawsuit and diss track hit so hard, we've got to rewind the clock back to the late 2000s. This wasn't just some small rap spat. 50 Cent and Rick Ross had one of the ugliest, most disrespectful feuds in hip-hop history. It all kicked off in 2008 when Ross claimed 50 looked at him the wrong way at the BET Awards. Petty? Maybe. But in hip-hop, that's all it takes to spark a war. From there, 50 went nuclear. He branded Ross Officer Ricky, clowning him for allegedly working as a correctional officer before his rap fame. And if you know 50, you know he doesn't just drop a diss track and call it a day. He went full scorched earth, releasing cartoons, skits, and even digging up footage of Ross's baby mama to embarrass him publicly. It was brutal, the kind of trolling only 50 could mastermind. He wasn't just trying to win a rap battle, he was trying to dismantle Ross's credibility piece by piece. Ross wasn't quiet either. He fired back with Mafia music and other records that painted 50 as washed and irrelevant. He leaned into the beef and used it as fuel to push his Deeper Than Rap album in 2009, which debuted at #1 on the Billboard 200. For Ross, the feud wasn't just about defending his name, it was about showing he could stand toe-to-toe with one of the most feared battle rappers in the game. The back and forth got so messy, it felt like a soap opera. Diss records, leaked videos, constant interviews throwing shade. Fans were glued to every update, treating it like the WWE of rap beefs. And the crazy part? Both artists somehow benefited. Ross's profile shot through the roof, while 50 kept his name in headlines even as his music sales started slowing. So when Ross dropped that new diss snippet in 2025, it wasn't random, it was a callback. It reminded fans of the era when their beef was the main event in hip-hop. Nostalgia kicked in hard, especially for fans who lived through those years of Officer Ricky memes and G-Unit versus MMG battles. It feels like history repeating itself, except now the stakes include million-dollar lawsuits and legacy-defining brand battles. But the real fuel to keep this alive, it's not just the bars or the lawsuits, it's the fans. Because the moment Ross hit post on that snippet, hip-hop Twitter lit up like it was 2009 again. And the split reaction is exactly what's keeping this fire burning. The moment Ross dropped that diss snippet, social media did what it always does. Turned the feud into a full-blown spectator sport. On X, timelines instantly divided into two camps: G-Unit loyalists versus MMG ride or dies. It felt like the old days all over again. One fan tweeted, 50's playing chess in federal court while Ross is still stuck on checkers. Another clapped back, nah, Ross is dropping heat while 50's stuck in paperwork. Bars greater than lawsuits. The replies were a war zone of GIFs, memes, and hot takes. The creativity was wild. Some users cut Ross's "Curtis, you ain't got no paper" line into TikToks with Monopoly board edits, while others spliced 50's courtroom photos into WWE ring entrances. One viral meme showed 50 in a suit holding a legal brief with the caption, "Exhibit A, Officer Ricky can't rap without me." Meanwhile, MMG fans shot back with clips of Ross popping bottles, captioned, "This is what winning looks like." It wasn't just debate, it was culture reenacting itself in real time. And here's the thing, both sides made valid points. G-Unit diehards argued that 50's lawsuit proves he's still the power player, protecting his empire like a businessman. They see him less as a rapper now and more as a mogul keeping his legacy clean. MMG fans countered that lawsuits don't trend, bars do. They praised Ross for flipping negativity into energy, saying, "Rosé still knows how to control the conversation." The split was so sharp it felt like watching hip-hop CNN, with two anchors yelling over each other. But let's not forget, beef has always thrived on fan engagement. 50 and Ross both know that if people are arguing about who won, they've both already won. The louder the fans debate, the longer the feud lives, and the more streams, clicks, and headlines they rack up. It's the old formula. Controversy equals currency. Still, behind all the memes and banter, there's a bigger layer most people missed. Because this isn't just a rap battle reboot, it's also a business strategy. Both men are running empires in 2025, and this feud is fuel for their next big moves. The question is, who's turning this fan energy into real money? Here's where the beef stops being just entertainment and starts looking like strategy. In 2025, both 50 Cent and Rick Ross are bigger than the music itself. They're CEOs running empires. For 50, G-Unit isn't just a rap crew anymore, it's a brand umbrella. He's knee-deep in TV and film, producing hit shows, expanding into documentaries, and even teasing a biopic about his own life. Every lawsuit he files, every headline he grabs, keeps his name sharp in a game where attention equals leverage. When he sues Ross over in Da Club, it's not only about protecting legacy, it's about reminding the industry that his intellectual property is sacred. He's showing future networks and streaming partners that his catalog is airtight and untouchable. That's mogul chess, not rapper checkers. On the flip side, Ross is prepping the next big Maybach Music Group rollout. He's been teasing a new MMG album, hinting at heavyweight collabs, and using every ounce of controversy to boost anticipation. Dropping a diss track snippet right after a lawsuit wasn't just petty, it was perfect timing. It turned a boring legal story into free album promo. Fans aren't just talking about Ross as a defendant, they're talking about him as a rapper who still has bite. He turned 50's legal swing into a hype cycle for MMG's music. That's hustler strategy. What makes this dynamic so fascinating is how it appeals to two different audiences. The older heads, folks who grew up with Get Rich or Die Tryin' and Port of Miami, see this as a nostalgic rematch of Titans. They're eating up every update, reliving the 2008 to 2010 feud. Meanwhile, younger fans on TikTok are clipping the pen game versus paperwork debate into short videos and making it trend all over again. This beef is multi-generational currency, and both 50 and Ross are cashing in. The truth is, neither of these guys is washed. They've just evolved. And that's why this latest clash isn't just about who spits the hardest bar or who wins in court. It's about which empire grows stronger in the process. But if you thought it ends here, think again. Because Ross's camp is already whispering about a countersuit, and 50, he just posted a cryptic meme that's got everyone guessing his next move. Just when you think the dust might settle, nope. This feud's got way too much gas left in the tank. Word on the street is Ross's camp is already exploring a countersuit, flipping 50's legal grenade right back at him. Imagine that. Two hip-hop titans not only beefing in the booth, but turning the courthouse into their next stage. It's messy, it's expensive, and it's exactly the kind of chaos fans can't look away from. Meanwhile, 50 isn't sitting still either. He jumped on X with a cryptic meme saying, "Hustlers never stop." And if you know 50, that's basically code for "I'm plotting something." Fans are speculating hard. Does this mean another diss track from Curtis? Or is he teasing some kind of TV project cashing in on the drama? With 50, you never know. One day it's a lawsuit, the next it's a viral Instagram troll, and then suddenly you've got a Starz series built around it. That unpredictability is his superpower. Ross, on the other hand, has every reason to keep stoking the fire. His MMG album rollout practically writes itself now. Bars aimed at 50, interviews clowning him, and visuals dripping with luxury while mocking 50's broke narrative. Fans love when Rosé leans into the boss persona, and this beef is the perfect backdrop for him to double down. If he drops a full diss track, you better believe the internet will treat it like a heavyweight title fight. But here's the bigger picture. This isn't just nostalgia bait. This is legacy chess. Both artists are reminding us that in hip-hop, your catalog and your character are always on trial. Whether it's 50 flexing legal power moves or Ross flexing lyrical dominance, each is reinforcing the lane they built their careers on. And for the culture, it's pure entertainment. So what's next? A courtroom sequel? A diss track trilogy? Maybe even a viral collab no one saw coming? With these two, anything's possible. And that's why we're all locked in. Because in the world of 50 Cent versus Rick Ross, the only guarantee is that the hustle never stops. So here we are, 2 decades after. Indie Club first shook the culture, and 50 Cent and Rick Ross are still finding new ways to keep their feud alive. From multi-million-dollar lawsuits to fresh diss tracks, this isn't just beef. It's business, legacy, and pure entertainment rolled into one. 50's playing courtroom chess, Ross is spitting booth fire, and the fans, we're the ones winning with front row seats to the chaos. The real question is, will this end with a judge's gavel or another round of brutal bars? Either way, this saga proves one thing. Hip-hop never forgets, and neither do its icons. But now it's your turn. Whose side are you on? Team 50 with the legal flex, or Team Ross with the lyrical heat? Drop your thoughts in the comments. We want to see where the culture stands. And remember, only 20% of the people watching are subscribed right now. Let's flip that. Hit the subscribe button, smash the notification bell, and share this video with a friend who lived through the original G-Unit versus MMG days. Trust me, you're not going to want to miss what happens next, because this story is far from over.